So this problem is showing us, this table is showing us the number of hours of daylight by month. And they measured it on the 15th of each month, okay? So it's pretty even all the way through. And as you can see, the number of hours of daylight goes up and down, like we know. Right now, the days are getting shorter until sometime in like the 20th or 21st of December, somewhere in there, when the winter solstice happens. And that's when it's the shortest day of the year. And a lot of people think that the days get longer all through summer, but technically they stop getting longer in June and start getting shorter again. But it's such a high amount of daylight that you don't notice it. It still gets you through July and August, and then you start noticing it in September and October. Okay? On our data, on the X minimum, go to the window, hit window. Your X minimum is going to be 0 or 1. I like 0 because then you see the whole graph. 0 to 12, right? So I go from 0 to 12, 0 to 15. Just make sure you've got your data in there. And go up by 1 on your X. Does everybody see that's why your X is set that way? And most of the ones we're doing today are months, so that should stay the same. Now look at your data. Your Y minimum, I would start at 0 so you can see what's going on. And what's the highest amount of light we have is 13.6, so go up to 15.
13.75.
Yeah, so go up to 15 to make sure you get all of it in your picture. So we set up our window in our window thing to make sure all the data is going to show up. When we go to our list of things to do, you're going to do stat edit, clear all the information in L1, clear all the information in L2, and then type in the information in the table. And you type in the X column 1 through 12. And in the Y column, the hours of daylight per month. And a lot of things in nature follow a cyclical way of doing it. So I'm going to find the equation that goes with this data. Now, equations that go with real life data aren't as pretty as, regular. There's going to be some ugly decimals, okay? So once we find it, we're going to put it in our Y screen, and I'm going to show you how to do that where you don't have to retype all those ugly decimals. All right, so everybody hit second Y equals.
Oh, wow.
And you get a plot stat. You're going to hit, your cursor should be at 1, right? Yeah. You're going to hit enter, and enter again to make sure you turn it on.
It's on.
It's on. If it's already on, then get second quit.
You have to do that every single time?
No, it's on now. All right. So we set up our window. We now set up our plot. Everybody hit the graph button. I think we're done. If I gave you a partial bit of information, like I didn't give you July or I didn't give you March, you could key in the rest of the information and don't put in 3 for March or 7 for July if that's what's missing. And then you could plug in those values and see what how many hours of daylight there would be in that month if you were missing information, okay? When the equations are in radians, the formula for period is 2 pi over b, okay? So if you have b on your calculator and it's an ugly decimal, just put the pi's in the calculator. If you have an equation that has a radians, let's say the b is, let's say, 1/2 pi. It would be 2 pi over 2, right?
Mm-hmm.
The pi's bite the dust. And that's equal to 4. The period would be 4 radians. All right, we've got the information entered. We're going to hit the stat key. And then we're going to go to calculate. So stat and go over 1 to calc. And then we're going to go find sine reg, which is under logistic on mine. I don't know where it is on yours. and hit that, and then hit enter again. So you hit enter, enter, okay? And you get this, you could go ahead and copy that ugly equation on a piece of paper and then rekey it to your y equals, but we're not going to do that. We're going to show you how to transfer it over. So now you hit your y equals screen, and this is on a video, so you can watch this. And then you hit this clear button if there's anything in there. And then you hit vars, which is kind of right by, you know, the little kitty corner from stat button. Number 5. Hit enter. Then go over to equation and hit enter. And it should show up in your y equals screen.